Hello, 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 hello. How you doing? Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of God Concept. I'm your host, Mr. Pagan. My eyes are clear. I woke up this morning. I'm blessed. I thank God for that. I thank the Creator, the Most High, the one above the firmament that we're placed in, the one above the jar that we've been placed in, above the homunculus dish that we're placed in. My eyes are clear and I see clearly what's going on in Philadelphia. I put out an episode a couple days ago where I was explaining, things about what I'm going through. I don't want to start this episode. I just want to, say that I followed through what I was going to do. I'm limited, like on a budget. You know what I mean? I don't like to use the term broke. Everybody say, "Oh, you don't got no money, you're broke." I'm not broke. I just don't got it. If I don't got no money, then I'm not broke. I'm not a broken person. I'm not a broken soul. You know what I mean? I'm still a person of substance, and I'm still a person that deserves justice for when they see injustice being done. My eyes were wide shut for a long time, but now they're wide open. I say that because I figured out that, my family was being handled for a long time, even before I was born. Before I was born, my grandmother was being handled by this big goofy George Jefferson motherfucker named Alonzo Brown. I discovered that a lot of things. So today I went ahead and turned in the email for the Federal Tort Claims Act against the FBI. Whether that comes to fruition or not is purely up to the Department of Justice. I reached out to the Department of Justice. I really wanted to shoot the email to the FBI themselves, but of course they're not going to file a form against theirself. It's different when you don't know what you know. And you have these findings and it's all speculation. But once you know 100%, in fact, that everything that you're saying or know is true and evident to be true, and you still can't get help from wherever you're reaching out to, like, I'm not talking about the Department of Justice. I'm talking about FBI field office, Philadelphia. They've trumped up so much against me. I believe they have me on a terrorist watch list or something like that. All this was done for what reason? I don't know. For what reason was they handling my mother's life for so long, to the point where she was putting tape over her camera lenses and running out of the state, running to other places to go work and live her life, as she want to live it. I don't have that luxury. I don't have the luxury of just being able to pick up and run off somewhere because, to be honest, I've been made to not have that luxury. They'll try to trap you in a place for as long as they can. They'll try to trap your children in a place as long as they can. And they will trump up charges. They will get false evidence. They will do character defamation on you. They'll have people slander you in public that supposedly know who you are. They'll have people call your phone and ask you stupid things that would get people in trouble, get people in trouble with the law, I should say. All to entrap you, you know what I mean? They've made me lose my livelihood, my career that I had, I can honestly say the man I was a year or two ago is dead. That man is gone. I'm somebody totally different now. I'm something totally new. I'm turning over, not a new leaf, because I've been a good person. I'm not turning over a new leaf. I'm I'm turning the page on that chapter of my life, or I'm trying to anyway. The chapter got to tend to, revive itself or keep popping up in the book of my life, in the acts of my life. You know what I mean? But I'm different. I'm changing my profession. I'm changing the things that I do on a daily basis because I understand that we're being manipulated. I mean, at least my life has been manipulated. I don't know if you feel the same about yours, but when you can see what's going on around you and in your environment and understand that what you're living in is a farce, is a dichotomy, and the things in your environment has never been conducive or never been properly structured so you could become the person that you were always meant to be. If you have certain innate talents and abilities, or if you have certain things that you believe or to be true or evident, right? And you never reach where you were supposed to reach to, if you never aspire to get to a certain point in your life where you should be already, should have been there already, but you got cursed or you got handled by a family that didn't let you get there. That's where it's at. That's where it's at. You know what I mean? I see exactly what's going on. You know what I mean? My whole entire one side of family just flipped on me. Like, I really have no sides of family. The only family I have is, the ones that I brung about. My family, my personal family. My seed, my nucleus. Everybody else just flips on you, and they do this because personal gain. Everybody wants money. Everybody wants, stability in their life, and they'll flip on you. They'll flip on their mother, their father, their grandfather, their grandmother. They'll flip on anybody to obtain that. And those people are bad. You know what I mean? Those people are transhuman. You can't even look at them like they're human being anytime you're willing to sell yourself to a system that allows you to gain just merely by fucking somebody else over. And the thing about it is, I'm realizing they don't even have to talk to you to do this. It's not like they would have to get you down in some office and make an agreement with you. I mean, if they want to make it physical, they can. But they could just structure your everyday life in a way, or present problems, or present fortune to you, good fortune. They could present problems, and they could present good fortune to you to have you act in a certain manner towards other people. They'll implant people in your lives to have certain conversations with you, drum up certain memories, to give you bad information on somebody else, to have you feeling like you're to have you feeling a certain way, the feelings and everything. A lot of the emotions that we have, a lot of our habits that we have are based around being manipulated. It's based around a system that you're tied to that's manipulating your life on a daily basis, and you never knowing about it. With me, I feel like, this city, the FBI in this city played a stupid fucking game with me. And I feel like they're getting a stupid fucking prize. Because I'm not a dumb person. I'm not a stupid person. So I play the game as long as you want me to play it. But at the same time, once the jig is up, once I understand how the game is being played, why continue to play the game with somebody? Why continue to have somebody, play this game with with your organization, your entity, the one that brought about all this trouble and stuff like this in my life, in my mother's life, in my grandmother's life, in my uncle's lives. Even though some of them won't, probably won't even be able to comprehend what the hell I'm talking about. Going down this rabbit hole kind of makes you seem like you're crazy to a lot of people, because they probably can't fathom it. You know what I mean? I don't know the aptitude of others. I'm not here to discuss whether somebody's smart or stupid. I'm a high school dropout who went back to West Virginia and got his GED, right? My mother, she was supposed to be she was on a college knowledge level by the time she was 9 or 10. She was that fucking smart. She was like a super genius at a young age. You know what I mean? I'm estranged from my mother for different reasons. I'm estranged from my father for different reasons. I'm estranged from a whole side of my family for different reasons. A whole portion of my family, I'm basically everyone, for different reasons. None of my own. I don't sit up here and cause these problems with anybody. I'm just simply the one made to go through it, who's made to go through all these different acts of my life, of their lives. I'm not in charge of how they think about me or what they feel about me or what type of relationship we have. But anytime you could wait until someone's grandmother passed to start manipulating their life on such a high level, that's just demonic to me. That's of the devil. That's pure evil to me. And to realize that they've been doing that all along. To realize that they've been manipulating her life, your mother's life, and in essence your life, even as a young child, for so long. It's ridiculous. And I'm left to stand and fight this fight in Philadelphia, alone, with my children. They ruined my career. They've stolen property from me to further put me in debt and to incriminate me so they could do false imprisonment on me. They stole property from me, And it's not like I'm talking about a house or whatever. Yeah, maybe, I don't know. Maybe if Alonzo Brown wasn't in our lives, maybe shit would have been better. Maybe if my grandmother would have never got entangled with that guy, because he was my grandmother's handler for so long. He helped the neighborhood and the community do the things that they did in my life. He helped a lot, with bringing negativity to my uncles and everything. You know what I mean? He helped a lot with that, in a lot of different ways. Yeah, but all in all, it's a great fucking day. The sun is shining. I'm up. I'm blessed. I'm alive. I got up. I drank my tea today. Smoked me a fucking cigarette. Filled out my Federal Tort Claim Act letter, again. I shoot this thing out, man. It's because what I mean by shoot it out, I mean shoot the letter out. I shot the letter out via email and via the Department of Justice's own website. And I shot that letter out there because I'm looking for the appropriate office to send it to. And every time I send it out, it's about something different. If I sent it out before, it was about something different. And it's about, what they do is they do a lot of redirecting. So at one point in time, I thought the people that I was dealing with, or the people that was dealing with me, was working for SEPTA, investigating me or something. Then at one point, I thought they was initiating me into some Masonic order. And then I was scared as fuck because I thought, I'm like, oh, this is the mafia that I'm dealing with, this and that. Then at one point, I'm like, all right, they're for sure the FBI, you know. And then at one point, I didn't think my family was involved. So I'm thinking that I'm protecting my grandpop and my grandmother from people who they don't know and who my mother don't know. And come to find out, all of these people, you know, excluding my grandmother, I don't know, you know, how much she knew about all this. But, you know, I'm thinking I'm protecting them from people that they're not protecting me from. They not only allowed these people to manipulate my life, but they also help these people manipulate my life. You know, and it's not all about me. This is not all about me. Because, like I said, this thing been going on before I've been born. You know what I mean? It's been going on since my mother was a child. It's been going on since my uncles were children. It's been going on probably before my grandmother even came to Philadelphia. I don't know. All I know is it's a huge conspiracy that's going on. A huge conspiracy. No one or nothing is off the table. You know what I mean? As far as I know. If anybody ever really stepped back, you know, and got the big picture, the broader picture, you know, some people only see what's important in their little micro life. You know what I mean? You are a part of a bigger picture. You know what I mean? And all of us have these little micro lives that we live. And I mean, that micro life is huge when you put a magnifying glass on it. You know, when you put a magnifying glass, which is you are the magnifier, you magnify that micro life that you have. You know, you do your job, you play your games, you go party, you have your fun, you have a wife, you have kids, you have a girlfriend maybe, or something going on in your life, and that's fine. And those are the things that keep your world so big. When in the broader scope of things, you really are living a micro life. Because the world is so huge that you and maybe the 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 people that you interact with on a monthly, weekly basis or yearly basis, depending on, you know, how popular you are, or how many people you choose to interact with, it makes it seem huge. It make your life seem like you're the center of every fucking thing. But really, when you step back and get the broader point of view, the bird's eye view, you know what I mean? It's a bigger, broader point of view. And it's like, you start to notice things. You start to notice things about yourself, the others you're interacting with, what's truly going on, you know, out here. It's a head scratcher. I just literally scratched the back of my fucking head. Because it'll really put your mind in a fucking whirlwind. Like, I don't even like thinking that big. Because sometimes it's like, it's overwhelming. It's overwhelming to think that all of this is going on, but yet and still you're stuck in the one bubble. You know, I'm stuck in the one bubble. You know what I mean? That I'm in. It's hard to fathom that a person, you know, could just be living their day-to-day life, and you got people really just making a living off of watching you and spying on you and tapping into what you're doing and manipulating the life that you live on a daily basis. That's basically what they do. They manipulate the life that you live on a daily basis. You know, I don't know how to unpack that. I don't know what to do with that. So I do this. I do my podcast, and I just search for justice. I'm seeking justice. I'm still searching for justice. You know, it's the personal accounts with people that really fuck with me. Like the part that really just throw your mind through a loop, or throw who you are through a loop, or what you believe through a loop, is the personal accounts that you have with people. You grow up with some people, you learn to love some people, and then for people to do you like that is like, wow. It's like, wow, how the fuck could you even justify doing that? Doing heinous things in people's life. Some people are made to suppress memories or repress memories and things like that. But what happens when that person remembers? What happens when that person remembers, everything, when they start tying everything together? Then you have what? You're going to say that person is a liar because they tied together all their memories and they, all the information that they know, and they put it together and they see what it is. They see actually what it is. Like they no longer have the blinders on, when they can see as far as the eye can see. I can't help it. That's just me. But anyway, I'm gonna try to do some more music today. Did this podcast. I emailed my peoples and shit that I had to email. I want to start putting some more books together, completing some more literature, so I could put together more books and things like that as well. Anything to just, occupy my time. Anything to just not only occupy my time, but further what I want to do with my life. Like literally, I could write. Literally, I'm gonna write books about this shit. You know what I mean? I'm doing this podcast now because it's a fast, easy way of getting my thoughts out there and my information out there, because it has to be heard. It has to get out there. If my voice remains silent and I'm not able to be heard or anything like that, then they just get to sweep me under the fucking rug. And that's what they were planning on doing, sweeping me right up under the rug. That's what they're continuing to try to do by ignoring me, ignoring the proof and the evidence that I have, that I've amassed. You know what I mean? Anytime, you could call people and they could talk to you in a way and make you feel like, make you feel nervous about even trying to, not even, it's not like I'm trying to set them up. They've been setting me up. And anytime I could call them and they could make me feel nervous and things like that, or talk to me any type of way, that's sad. You guys manipulated my life. You guys manipulated my family. You guys have been doing all this shit, for so fucking long. You know what I mean? And I don't know what the fuck they were trying to do with me, but they didn't succeed. You know what I mean? It was trying to make me look like some type of terrorist. They were trying to send me down a rabbit hole where they just wanted to, I don't know, be some type of extremist or some type of anti-government person. I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy. I'm not any of the shit that they paint out. All I am is a protector. You know, I champion myself. I champion my children. I champion my family. You know, I like to do good deeds. I like to see good things happen. You know, I'm a good person. You know, I never hurt anybody. You know, I never seen it fit to really hurt anybody. And if I ever did see it fit to hurt somebody, you know, I don't know. It's just bad when you notice that you're being manipulated and things like that, and then you sit up there and say, "Hey, this is going on," and then you can't get help from anybody. All because what if my voice is heard, it would put a crack in the system that's put in place. I'm going through all this, and we got a mayor that totally ignores it. You know, we got people out here that totally ignore anything that further infringe on our life on a daily basis. I'm just, I'm sick of so much. I'm sick of so much. I just want to do my music, write my books, continue to do my podcast. And this podcast is supposed to be about God concept. This podcast is supposed to be about feeling good, getting back to what's natural, getting back to nature, and having discussions that really, questions, the way we think, the way we feel about things, to help you elevate as a person. You know what I mean? Things that'll help you understand that you're more than just this. You're more than just here, like a human being. You know what I mean? You are physical, you are mental, and you are spiritual. And that's what this podcast was always meant to be about. But what they do is they attack you with everyday life. They attack you with different situations in your everyday life. They attack you with bills and, you got to pay this, you got to pay that. Not to mention property was stolen from me or things that just further put me in debt and further make me look like I'm a monster, like I'm a bad person or something, And like I said before, they use people around you all the time, and you can see it. And I want to say this to anybody out there listening to this, because organizations will work through people, right? But you got to realize that the person that they're working through might not even know it's being done through them to you. So you really can't ever lash out at a person who you see that is being used by whatever entity or government entity or FBI, whatever it is. You can't really lash out at that people, because I do notice a lot of that happening. A lot of people realize these things and they go off the deep end. That's what I'm seeing. Like when I see news, when I look in the news and I see like a person did heinous things to his loved ones and things like that, or went out and caused and did some kind of crazy heinous crimes and stuff like that, is because you were manipulated to do that, and you probably thought that the people that they were using against you were actually in contact with the people that were using them. No, it's way deeper than that. It's way deeper than that. It's to the point where, a person can be manipulated to do something that'll fuck your life up and their life up, and they not even know why they did it themselves. Seriously. A lot of people don't even know why they do the heinous shit to you that they do to you. They don't. It's like a programming. It's like something that's innately there. It's just like, They can't help it. You know, it just happens because it's the programming. It's the it's the thing that they were told to do. I'm gonna give you a prime example. If you're having nothing but good things happen in your life all the time, right? That's because it's meant to be that way. That's because nobody's feeding ain't no entity or government entity feeding anything negative into anybody about you. But the moment they want, a flip can be switched and they can start feeding negativity about you to your neighborhood, to your community, to your loved ones, to your children, to your wife, or anything like that. That'll cause your children to disrespect you. That'll cause your wife to be, infidelity, cause infidelity and all that type of stuff. They can cause your parents, like in my example, in my case, my grandfather put a false order protection on me. They can cause things like that. The FBI, CIA, whoever, I don't know. But they can cause people that you love to really harm you in really bad ways. I don't know why they do this, but they do it. And you would think it's just that person tripping, or no, that's actually the government playing God. That's the FBI or whatever government agency that you're under, that's operating in your city. They're actually trying to play God. That's why a lot of times you have to get away from these cities and things like that. My grandmother came to Philadelphia with all of her sisters. They came here. I don't know why they came here, for fun, for riches, because Philadelphia used to be like a Hollywood back in the day. So maybe they just came here because they figured, they wanted the city life. They wanted to have a nice life in the city. But in all actuality, what they got here was, when they got here, they started being watched and manipulated and things like that. Maybe they were manipulated to even come to this city. I have no idea. I don't know. I know they're not from here. My people are originally from down south. My people are originally from Cuba. My people are originally from across the pond. I have different lineages. So we have people, my origins go to several different places, from the US to Cuba to Ireland to wherever. It's like none of those places are Philadelphia. Like, maybe the Native American side is from Americas, from what used to be known as Turtle Island. But none of it is really here. What draws everything here? What draws everything to any major city? The electrical grid? Are they tapping into some spiritual energy right there to get you to come to a city instead of going and living your life in a more rural area where you could really be more in tune with what we know now as nature? And that's what I'm trying to teach my children too. I mean, in a way, because all of them are attached to these electronics. Even me, I'm attached to these electronics. It's like, it's like second nature to just wake up and look at your phone, or wake up and get on the phone to do something, right? And that's because it's made to be that way. I want to get back to the times where we'll never get back there, to the point where we don't need electronics. And I don't want to get back there because I love electronics. I ain't going to bullshit you. I like the little technology stuff. But I want to get to a point where we separate the two. You got to separate nature and these technology things. The furthest it should be is like we take pictures and, do studies and things like that. But on your personal everyday life, when you go out in the garden or you want to go relax and things like that, you shouldn't have to have a phone or earbuds in your ear at all times. Because now you're getting more to that transhuman, you know what I mean? You're not really embracing what it is to be a full natural person. You know, none of us are born with a cell phone in our hand. Granted, some of us might be born with electrodes on our head and in our body for whatever reason. But we're not born with just cellular devices on our mind. They're implanted there. You know what I mean? You see somebody else with it, ooh, that looks nice, and now you want it, and now you're stimulated by it, and now it's like a drug. It's an addiction. And depending on how you use it, it could either make you rich or it can make you poor. I'm trying to use these devices to get the truth out there and become wealthy. You know, I do want to be wealthy. I do want to amass riches from books, music, and podcasts and things of that nature. You know, I deserve it. My children deserve it for what we've been going through for so fucking long. I'm going to go ahead and say it. I feel like they want me to take my life, man. Seriously, for a long time, you know, I felt like they wanted me to take my own fucking life. You know, I think they wanted me to, you know, Alonzo Brown tried to have argument with me and said that I fucked over somebody, and I didn't fuck over anybody. The whole time he was fucking me over, trying to push me to the point where I take his fucking life. You know, military people, you know, that's what that is. He don't care. He would have just been serving his purpose. If that would have been the outcome of that situation, of us having an argument, of me trying to get to the bottom or investigating him about things that I notice in my life and in my mother's life and in his life for trying to protect him. I'm investigating him, trying to, you know, like a soft interrogation technique. I'm trying to interrogate this man to figure out how much do he know about this shit, you know, or you know, if he knows about it at all, and how can we, you know, how can I help him and trying to inform him on what I find out. And he took all of that and put out a false order of protection on me to further the FBI agenda, basically. You know, I can't get over that, you know. I can't get over the fact that I found all this out. You know, it's a tough pill to swallow. It's a big fucking pill to swallow. But a pill that I must swallow nonetheless. Relax a little. Hold on. Keep talking. Enjoying the breeze. It was cutting grass outside a moment ago. It sounded nice. You could smell it in the air. You could smell the cut grass in the air and everything. Looking at the back of my eyelids right now. Just meditating. Just thinking. A change needs to happen. You know, a change definitely needs to happen. You know, for my sake, for my children's sake. You know, really that's why I go down this rabbit hole the way I go down this rabbit hole. And I'm steadfast about it because I know that they've manipulated my life and my children's life, and I don't want that to continue to go on. You know, children should be able to be whatever they want to be in their life. You know, children should be helped to be whatever they want to be in their life. You know, you shouldn't attach any type of stipulation on that. You shouldn't hinder that child from being what they want to be in their life. For a long time as a child, I've been hindered and manipulated into being what somebody else wanted me to be. Having thoughts of being something other than something that's natural to me, by mere suggestion, by helping out, by things of that nature. And that's how they do it. I watch videos on YouTube about this FBI stuff and how they use the method of suggestion. They never do anything to the point where they can incriminate themselves or whatever. Or some of them do. Some of them like to bend and break the rules in ways to get you to further trust them or get further embedded and in bed with them. But ultimately it's, I don't know. How about this? How about if I was handled better, if my family was handled in a better way, and my life and my kids' life would have been in a better position, I probably wouldn't even be doing this podcast. I probably wouldn't even give a fuck about the FBI handling people's lives. More than likely. I'm going to tell you the truth. Because if I had money, if I had, everything that I needed in life, I would be like, who gives a fuck? Who really gives a fuck if they handle that? To be honest with you, who gives a fuck about somebody handling your life if your life's turning out great? Right? But what about the people whose lives don't turn out great? What about the people lives that they ruin just because they could do it? What about the people lives who they make take a turn for the worse? What about the people lives that they make commit suicide and they ultimately lead them to a life of crime or drugs or habits or some type of psychiatric ward or jail or whatever, or faggotism? They make a person turn to being gay or homosexual or whatever the case may be. Not that, if a person is living like that and they see it fine to live like that, more power to them. But what about those people who's not living their natural, who's not living in their truth, that's not doing things that's natural to them? What about the people who's out here, flipping burgers and they deserve to be writing poetry? What about the people out here that's working at the Rite Aids and driving on trash trucks that deserve to be musicians and athletes and things like that? What about those people? You know what I mean? Some people got different sets of people, right? You got some people that'll know what I know and become nothing. They'll just let all this information take them to the grave. You got some people that'll take this information and fight and try to fight for justice and what's right. And you got some people that'll learn it and try to adapt with it and still push forward and get ahead and things like that. You got some people who will find out all this stuff and they'll fuck around and take their own life because they know too much and they don't want to know that much. I don't mind bearing the burden of information, as long as once I have that information, I can use it to do better for my family. I can use it as a tool or instrument to fight for justice for myself and my children. And that's all I'm doing. I'm using what I know and what I know to be true and evident. And in my life, the life that I live and the personal accounts that I had with people, nothing is more true or evident than the things that I'm saying right now, than the things that I'm talking about, this topic. The manipulation of my life, the manipulation of my mother's life. This means that they've been doing this since I've been a child. Since my grandmother been a young woman, in my uncles' lives, in their children's lives. It's sad when you realize that a lot of your life has been a farce, has been a dichotomy. when you find out that people that you love were actually pawns. In the chess game that you were put into by the city. That's why men, we have to be careful where we dock our vessel. You got to be careful where you dock your boat, because some of us dock our boats in vessels and on piers that might not be right for us for any type of reason, because that's what it's about. It's about getting these bill of landings that they call birth certificates for children. And a lot of it is done through our women. You know, I hate to say that. You know, I'm not slighting any type of woman, or, you know, I love women. I think they're beautiful. Their bodies, their brains, their everything about them. I love women. But, you know, our women are more easily manipulated than our men in today's society. Not a lot of them. I mean, it varies depending on who you're dealing with. But a lot of our women are just programmed to ruin men's lives out here, you know, and it's done by whatever means. Some women are just programmed to just find mates and have babies. Some are just here to you know, go against whatever your nature is to make it harder on you. And some men are like that too. Some men are just here to just find women, screw, have children, and move on to the next woman. And some are here just to find out a way that they can manipulate your life for their own personal gain and things like that. You know, to each his own. I don't feel like it's right. I think you should always be true or genuine to anybody you're dealing with in life, you know, and try to at least hold them in high regard. You know what I mean? Especially if they're holding you in high regard. If they're being genuine to you, or you know, you at least owe it to them to be genuine to them, you know. Do unto others as you would have others do unto you. You know, if I want positivity, if I want the best, if I want respect, if I want to show appreciation, if I want appreciation shown to me, then I have to exude that. And that's why I expect that. Because I do these things. You know, I don't just talk about it. I am about it. If I can, I give you the shirt off my fucking back. You know, I help plenty people. I respect everybody as much as I'm allowed to, or as much as I can stand, because sometimes people can really just throw you through a loop, you know what I mean, with their personalities and things like that. Sometimes we think and say disrespectful things like, oh, fuck, you know what I mean? And, you know, to be honest with you, you know, sometimes we got to catch ourselves when we having thoughts like that. But it's like, dude, the game is fucking real. You know, the game is real. The game is rigged. And I'm just, you know, this podcast, how long I've been on here? Oh, okay, I've been on here for 50 minutes, just damn near 50 minutes. The maximum recording time for segments is 60 minutes. Keep your eye on the clock. Okay. That's basically Spotify letting me know that, you know, I can't record over an hour a segment, which is fine. You know, I'm not trying to exceed that hour mark in any way. I really didn't even know that this discussion was going to go that long. Like I said before, man, this is really just therapy, and this is really just me clearing my mind. So you might get on here and you might hear me having rants about different things and like that. You don't take it verbatim. You know, I do say a lot of things on here, and that's because I just want to get it out. All the time I'm not even being, what do I want to say? I'm just speaking freely. Sometimes I'm not even using my first thought to, it's like, okay, I will have a thought and I will want to say that thought, but I don't want to say it in the way that I thought it. So I would have to adjust the way I want it to come out. And in the process of adjusting my thought into formulating it into the words that I want to say on the podcast, it's not the original thought. It's not my original thing that I may have intended to say. I'm trying to come up with a clever way in my mind of saying something so it don't sound like I'm going off the deep end in any type of way. Because trust and believe, all the stuff that I'm saying on here will and can be used against me. That's why I get on here and do this. Because I know they will and they can use it against me. And I'm hoping when they do use it against me in any capacity, I'm hoping that they can't use it against me in a bad way. Because if I put my truth as I see evident on this podcast and they do reference to it or anything like that, I can make sure that they point out the spots where I was absolutely, positively 100% right. That's what it's about. It might be hit and miss. All my information might be hit and miss for some people. It might go over some people's heads. Some people might understand it. Some people's not going to understand it. But one thing about it is, everything that I'm saying on this podcast is factual. Everything that I'm saying on these podcast episodes, you could go somewhere, look it up. You could find information about it somewhere. So I'm not saying anything that's false in any way. Everything is truth. And all of this is evidence. And all of this is just my God concept, what I'm seeing about the system that we living in right now today. The difference a day makes. Tomorrow I might be in a whole totally different place. One day I'm going to be rich or wealthy. And then at that point, this podcast might change and take a different turn entirely, because I would have different things to talk about. I would have different experience to talk about. But until then, this podcast is about truth seeking and it's about, just putting my truth out there and getting justice for myself and my family. I can't help that this is where my life would take me, but it did, and I bear the burden of that. I bear the burden of that, and I do it happily. But this has been my episode. About to go out here and enjoy the day. I think you should too. You should go out here and enjoy the day and live your life, man. And don't worry about none of this shit, because it's all here today and going tomorrow, right? So, I'm Mr. Pagan. This has been another episode of God Concept. Go out there, listen to that fucking music that I put out, huh? Go out there and read one of them fucking books. They're not big books, they're short books, and they're sweet. You can read them you can read my book about 5 times a day. You can ingest it like it's food. You know what I mean? You can ingest it, brain food. Go out and listen to this podcast. I know you will. A lot of you federal agents out there is watching me closely. I know you motherfuckers is watching it. Excuse my language, you God-given saintly people. Go fuck yourself. Peace.